Hi, I'm Scott Rajavori, top-rated Minneapolis home remodeling expert. And today I'm going to share with you some top cabinetry ideas to consider for your kitchen remodel. My company has helped hundreds of homeowners in the Twin Cities with creative design ideas that oftentimes the homeowner would not ever have considered. Okay, when first considering cabinets, you need to decide how much of your budget you are willing to allocate to the cabinets themselves. This is probably the biggest thing you need to be considering is the cabinets. The least expensive cabinets are going to be box cabinets with limited ability to customize. The next level is semi-custom or made-to-order cabinets. These are still technically a box cabinet in that they're individual components, but you can get away from the typical 3-inch size increments. You get in more limited box cabinet lines, and that's difficult. You can often change depths and heights to meet your needs as well. The changes do affect your price, and if you are doing too much customizing, you'll probably be better off going with the next type, which is custom, because the cost is going to be similar. This cabinet is designed specifically for your kitchen needs. These cabinets will typically come in full runs. They won't come in those individual boxes, and they'll come as long as they can fit into your home. With the different types of cabinets, it's very important to consider the actual box construction. This is the part that actually makes up the cabinet. Some are made of particle board, but the better ones are made of plywood. Within the two types, there are different types of thickness, which creates a better cabinet as well. The very cheap ones are going to have like a 1/4 inch back with 3/8 inch sides. This is important to pay attention to because people aren't going to share this with you. You really want to have at least a 1/2 inch minimum on the sides and backs, in my opinion, but even better yet is a full 3/4 inch box made out of plywood. In the box, the semi-custom cabinets, you're more likely to have options to have full finished ends as well as, and I'm just going to take a minute and point that out. So this is a finished end. So instead of a veneer, a fake look, you'll have that finished end or a full finished end, which brings the end of that cabinet all the way out to the frame of the cabinet. This, and I'm not sure you can see it, but this is actually got the, it doesn't have a full finished end. It's got a little bit of a reveal between the frame and the end. This can get quite confusing, so it's best to consult with a professional like us when working through this and trying to consider what makes sense, cost, durability, and whatnot. However, for your drawers and doors make a big difference in how these will operate and how long they will operate. Typical side-mounted guides are drawers that have these, and I'm just going to open this. I don't know if you can see it, but you might be able to hear it. They have the typical side-mounted guides. They're not ball-bearing, they aren't as smooth. Then again, within the hinges, typical cabinets, older cabinets had an exposed hinge. These are actually a style that's getting obsolete. This is a DuraSpring great cabinet, but it is hidden to a degree. But what we use most often now is this particular style, and that is a knife hinge style, so it's open right now. When I shut it, you don't see it anymore, and this is actually a soft close. If I turn it around, we've added this little compressor right here, makes it so when you go to shut the door, it doesn't slam on you. That's also available in your drawers, and so when the door goes to shut, it slowly takes the drawer at the last inch or so and sets it for you. Another thing is the overlay. So typically right now we're doing a full overlay for the most part. That's probably the most popular. This happens to be probably more like a 3/8 inch or 3/4 inch overlay. And what that means to you is that there's a box exposed. Full overlay will cover up the whole cabinet. Again, it adds a little more expense, but I think it's a better look. Often when we're trying to do this, we're trying to respect the period of the home when the house is built. So if you have an older home, we may go with an inset cabinet to keep in line with the architecture when that was made. So if that's the case, this door would actually be inset into the frame itself. The bad side to that is there's not a lot of tolerance. So you can imagine if there's little space around the whole door, if it's set inside the frame, that adjustment is tough and becomes a lot more expensive, typically 30% more. So along with those hardware options also come options within the cabinets themselves. So Within the cabinets, you can have things like a trash rollout, utensil dividers. You can have peg dividers in your drawers. This is really cool. So in a drawer, we go with a lot deeper drawers these days. These pegs will go into the drawers themselves and allow you to put plates in the bottom drawers when your uppers aren't maybe so deep. Roll-out shelves. These are all important options you can consider. And the rollouts, I would say a thing to pay attention to is the hardware on that as well. Again, you're probably going to want those full extension glides. You're probably going to want a maple dovetail drawer. This is actually, again, I don't know if you can see it, but this is maple dovetail drawer. A much better box construction and holds up much better. So we've talked about cabinets today and some of the options with the organizers and pantry organizers and utensil drawers. The last thing we want to talk about is finish and wood type. So this is obviously enamel. It's pretty easy to see. It's painted. Important thing to think about here is what kind of product are you putting behind this. This is a well-made cabinet. It's got a maple box, a maple door. That's going to hold up. It's harder. A little lesser expensive option is popple or poplar. That paints up nice too. It doesn't show grain. A little softer. And the least expensive that's used fairly often is MDF. It's pretty hard. I would say it's difficult to damage, but the bad thing about MDF and the thing to pay attention to is that if the material gets wet, it swells and starts to fall apart, and we don't want that. And we know that water can get in your kitchen, right? So there's the right spot to use that. Maybe the kitchen isn't the best. The other thing is stained cabinets, and so we use a lot of birch, we use maple, cherry is a nice option, hickory, alder, walnut. These are all different options, and they go up in expense. And from the traditional oak cabinet we used to use all the time, they're going to range anywhere from 10 to 30% increase. Now the thing to pay attention with maple and birch that people don't realize is that unless you have a real pro staining those in the darker, deeper colors that are popular today, they might get a little blotchy because of the little softer spots in the wood. But often, you know, with the right person doing the job, and we've got the right person with dyeing or whatever, they can make that turn out just beautiful. Now, another thing to remember is cherry ages. So I've got actually that first door I brought up was a cherry door that was stained, but I've got cherry cabinets often used in a natural finish that will darken to a point that's probably 2 or 3 times darker than when you started. So just keep that in mind, that what you start off with cherry will not be what you have 5 years from now. There you have it, the top cabinetry ideas for your kitchen remodel. At Titus Contractor, we have a cabinet division as well, and a lot of experience to help you design cabinets that work with your budget. I invite you to reach out to us or our contact information is below. This is Scott Rajavori. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments below, and thanks for watching.